Hello everyone, my name is Yara and today is day 1 of the Reading Rush. So the Reading Rush is a week-long readathon hosted by Ariel from Ariel Bassett and Raylene from Padfoot and Prong 07. It's also formerly known as the Booktubeathon, so that might be more familiar. I love this readathon. This is the only readathon that I've consistently done, I think every year since it's been started in like 2013 or something. And this is my second year doing it on YouTube because actually the first videos I ever put up to BookTube were my Booktubeathon videos. So this is kind of full circle for me. Or I guess it's not like I'm ending, but you know what I mean. So I don't think I'm going to be doing the video challenges this year though, because last year I literally had nothing to do and it was still a challenge for me to get those videos filmed and uploaded every day. But I am going to try to daily vlog. Or I guess like I'll daily vlog, but it'll end up being one big weekly vlog by the end of it, so I don't have to edit every single day. It's just not possible for me at the moment. Anyway, I figured I'd show you what my TBR is, even though I'm a mood reader, so it's probably gonna change. I'm flexible, but like this is the plan. I tried to kind of use this readathon as a way to get rid of books on my physical TBR, like books I already bought that I need to just read already. The first book that I started reading today, and I'm actually almost done with it, is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This is actually a reread for me. The first time I read this though was like 6 years ago. I was in middle school. But I was really curious to read this because I don't think at the time that I read it that I was the target demographic, or at least I personally wasn't, because I don't think I was mature enough to understand it or appreciate it. So I figured that now, having gone through high school, I might be able to understand it more. And for the most part, that's kind of been true. Like, there are definitely some things that I don't think I would have appreciated, or at least understood to its full complexity or nuance when I was younger. Maybe I did, and I'm not giving myself enough credit, but oh yeah, and this fulfills the challenge. There are challenges, by the way, to this readathon. And this fulfills the one, first, to read a book that has more than 5 words on the cover. This has 6 words on the cover. And it also fulfills the challenge of reading and watching a book to movie adaptation, though I haven't watched the movie yet. I mean, I watched it a while ago when it came out, but I'll watch it again during this readathon. I was planning on watching it tonight, but it's kind of late now, so I don't know, we'll see how that goes. So after I finish that, and probably what I'll start tomorrow, is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. And this will fulfill the challenge of reading a book with purple on the cover, as well as reading a book you meant to read last year, because I put this on my TBR, I think since Kat from Paperback Dreams mentioned it in her video or when she read it, and I just haven't read it yet, but I finally bought it, so I'm gonna read it now. It's a hefty boy though, so probably not the best for a readathon, but it has amazing reviews, so I think I'll be able to get through it fast. Also, for most of these books, I'm going to be reading them on audiobook because I have about 3 hours worth of commute every day. So that's a lot of time that I can spend listening to an audiobook, so that's what I'm doing. Don't even try to judge me. Also, for most of these books, I'm going to be reading them through audiobooks because I have about 2 to 3 hours a day worth of commute time. So that's a lot of time that I can spend listening to an audiobook, and a much less time than I can physically read. So most of this reading is going to be done through audiobooks. And I've heard the audiobook for this one is really good. And actually the audiobook for Perks is really good too. It's narrated by Noah Galvin, and if you're into musical theater at all, Noah Galvin I think was the first replacement after Ben Platt in Dear Evan Hansen. And he's literally the perfect voice for this kind of naive, small child boy in high school. It's really cute and I really like his narration. The next book I'm gonna try to read, I don't necessarily know if I'm gonna read it, but I'm gonna see. It's Animal Farm by George Orwell. This is perfect for the challenge of reading a book with a non-human main character because all of the characters in this book are animals. It's an allegory of the lead up to the Russian Revolution, and it's super short. Like, it's just above or even under 100 pages. So theoretically, it's really good for a readathon, but also it's a classic, and classics are kind of slow. So I don't know if I'm gonna be in the mood for this. But I really did want to get to this one because it's a very classic novel, like so many people know it and it's very referenced a lot of places. It's also Ariel Bassett's favorite book of all time, so I just kind of want to know what it's about. And also I've owned it for a decent amount of time, so I should get to it pretty soon. Oh, I forgot to mention that Perks also fulfills the challenge of reading an author's first book. Wow, this got through a lot. And I think the last challenge that I need to fulfill is reading a book in one spot. I could technically kind of cheat and say that my car is reading the book in one spot, because I'm listening to the audiobook only in my car. But I could also be a little bit more traditional and try to do a different book. So that could be Animal Farm. But also I kind of want to try to read more books I might as well during a readathon. So I might try to read Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. This is a graphic memoir about the author's childhood growing up in Tehran during the Islamic Revolution. This is another critically acclaimed novel that I really want to see what it's all about and stuff. It's also a graphic novel, so it shouldn't theoretically take me too long. So I might try to read this all in one spot, probably in my bed. I don't think I read anywhere else when I'm physically reading. So hopefully I can get through this. This is another book that I've owned for quite a while. So that was my TBR/update, and I'll see you tomorrow once I read a little more. Hello, it is Reading Rush Day 2. Today I got out of work early, so I went to the gym, hence why I look the best, you know. Last night after I vlogged, I finished Perks of Being a Wallflower. I gave it 4 stars. I was actually leaning towards a 3-star rating for most of the book, or I was juggling between 3 and 4, but I was ultimately gonna settle on 3 until something happens at the end, which if you read the book you know what it is. And I've read the book and I've seen the movie, so I have no excuse. I knew what was happening. I just was not smart and did not see the connections of what the story was building up to. But after realizing that, I started to rethink some of the things that I didn't like about most of the story. But for the most part, my opinion still stands. The story is written in letters, like Charlie, the main character, is writing to an anonymous person known as Friend. And he's just kind of recounting his freshman year of high school. And I had very mixed feelings about this writing style because, one, I thought it was unique, and I thought it lent itself to an interesting narrative because you're only inside Charlie's head and his perspective is really skewed and really biased. But it came at a cost to having well-developed secondary characters. Like, it literally felt like someone was telling me a story about people I didn't know, and these people just had vague faces and vague personalities that I could have a good idea about but not really understand them. So I personally didn't like that too much, but I also recognize that it's kind of fits the idea of whole being a wallflower and being this observer and just kind of taking in a lot of things. So I don't know, I left it at 4 stars because I did for the most part really enjoy it. Just some nitpicky things that I think might not have been the best choice, but I'm really interested to see the movie, even though I've seen it before and I know I like it, but I'm interested to see what they took out because I honestly don't remember, and I think the story would do better in a movie medium, so we'll see about that. This morning on the way to work I started Radio Silence, which is really good so far. I understand why people like it, at least I'm only like a third of the way through, but it's definitely very relatable and I'm excited to read more of that. Hello friends, it is a few hours later, actually many hours later, it's midnight, so technically it's Reading Rush Day 3, but I am not gonna read any more today. I actually didn't read that much more from when I checked in. I listened to about an hour more of the audiobook, and then despite me getting home early, I decided to just not read. I watched some YouTube, ate some dinner, and I just finished watching The Perks of Being a Wallflower movie, which I really enjoyed and confirmed I like the movie better than the book. Not drastically, it's just that there are certain things that irked me about the book that the movie did well. And this might have to do with the narrator of the audiobook, but Charlie's voice often sounded really young. And I know he was meant to be naive and innocent, but I feel like there's a difference between innocent and young, if that makes sense. And the movie Charlie conveys him to be this shy, socially awkward kid who is kind of sheltered, doesn't really know much about the world, but he still acts like someone his age. And the second part was that I really liked Emma Watson and Ezra Miller's characters, because in the book I liked them, but I feel like you don't really get to know them, right? It feels like very, like there's a sheet blocking you. Is that the phrase? I don't even know. It feels like there's some sort of filter that you're not getting all of them. In the movie, you really get to see them, and you get to love them, and you get to love their friendship that forms. Also, Paul Rudd is in this movie, and I had no idea. Anyway, yeah, I'm probably gonna go to sleep. I have to wake up early tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll finish Radio Silence by the time I finish my drive. And then once I finish that, who knows at this point? I don't even know. I'll update you later. It's literally day 2 and my sanity has already gone down. Hey guys, it is Reading Rush day 3. It's 10:30 p.m. right now, and still have only completed 1 book, but I'm real close to finishing Radio Silence. I listened to a little bit of it on the way to and from work. Not a little bit, a big chunk of it actually. And I have only about 2 hours left of the audiobook, so probably around 100 pages. And I really want to finish that tonight, but I'm so tired right now. I went a little too hard at the gym yesterday, and I could barely walk today. That is irrelevant to why I'm tired. I just really want some sleep. Radio Silence is hitting too close to home sometimes, like too close for comfort. It is taking me back to 1 year ago when I was applying to college and I had to deal with all that stress, and it's just a lot of emotions right now. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm really bad at vlogging, and it's mostly because during the week I don't do anything. I go to work and I come back home, I sleep. Except today, my family and I went to get Tex-Mex at a restaurant, but I forgot to vlog it because I am a fake YouTuber. That's just what we've determined. So to make this vlog a little more interesting, I'm just gonna keep changing positions of where I am in my room, you know, to get some diverse content here. In other news, yesterday was my 1-year booktube anniversary, which is really wild because it does not feel like a year. I'm also wearing the shirt that I was wearing in that video. It was actually a booktube on TBR too. Wow, we just love full circles up in here. Anyway, yeah, I'll try to finish Radio Silence tonight. Hopefully I will, and then I'll have 2 books finished. Woo! It is 8 p.m. on day 4 of the Reading Rush, and I have read nothing today. Last night I finished Radio Silence, and I was so close to giving it 5 stars, because I think the whole first 3/4 of the book are so good. They bring up all these really cool, nuanced discussions about education, about going to college, and also internet culture and fandom culture, and just a lot of interesting stuff that is relevant to my life. But then the last quarter just kind of felt rushed and abrupt, and some of the things resolved in a kind of simple way, in a way that I don't know if it's unrealistic, it just felt too quick to have resolved that way, and I just wanted to have more time to sit down to talk about what's happened, specifically with like Aled and Karis's character. I wanted them to have a conversation. Anywho, I finished that book, so that completes reading a book with a purple cover and reading a book I meant to read last year. So now the only 2 challenges I have left are reading a book in the same place and a book with a non-human main character. And I would have completed that today had Scribd not been annoying. So Scribd is an audiobook / ebook distributor, kind of like Audible, except it's much cheaper. And it's also unlimited books. This doesn't work by the credit system like Audible does. Well, they say unlimited, but it's kind of a lie, because if you read too many books in the month, it starts saying that the books that you wanted are unavailable until a certain time. So first I searched for Animal Farm because that's the book that I was planning to read next. And it's super short, so I probably could have finished it on the drive, but it wasn't there. So I figured, okay, it's not available on Scribd. And I checked Audible, but the audiobook is so small that I didn't feel justified spending a whole credit on the Animal Farm audiobook. And then Libby, which is like the library ebook audiobook service, also didn't have an audiobook for Animal Farm. So the morning I was like, screw this, I'm listening to Paper Cut's live stream of Radio Silence. And then halfway through the day I decided I wanted to start reading We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal, because I started reading like couple pages of it last week, but I never actually finished it, and I was like, why not? But then I was trying to download the Audible audiobook and it wasn't letting me. I don't know why, but like the world doesn't want me to read, so that is clearly what is happening. I mean, there's still 4 hours left of day 4, so I could hopefully I can read Animal Farm in a sitting. I might be putting too much faith in myself, but hey, that's what readathons are for, right? Anyway, bye. Day 5. So merely moments after I finished recording those clips for the vlog, I fell asleep. I only ended up reading like 2 pages. And I woke up a half an hour later, but I was too tired. I just decided to call it a night and go to bed. So yesterday I kind of took an L on reading, but it's okay. Even though this is a reading rush, we can't always sprint. We need to take our breaks. But this morning, I wasn't feeling Animal Farm, so I decided to spontaneously start listening to We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. But even though I didn't get through that much either, I got through 45 pages. I mean, that's better than yesterday, so I'll take it. But it kind of screws me over because it doesn't fulfill any of the challenges, and I still need to do a book with a non-human main character. So hopefully I can pump out Animal Farm or some other book soon. And I also have some non-bookish content for you. My family and I decided to go to dinner. We got Bear Burger, and it was in this town that is just so aesthetically pleasing. Like, the architecture is just so good. So cue clips now. And now I'm back. It's like 10:30, so there's still some time left in the day. And I want to get some reading done, but I don't know if I want to read We Hunt the Flame or Animal Farm. Logistically, I probably should read Animal Farm just to get the challenge out of the way. But I'm actually really liking We Hunt the Flame. And I feel like I haven't read fantasy in a while, so I kind of want to get back into that. Anyways, I'll see you later. Hello friends, it is day 6, and I'm just not on my reading game. I wanted to read after I got back, but I actually ended up being really tired. As you can see, there's a trend of me sleeping rather than reading here, which is honestly on brand for me. But I can't even blame sleep, because like, I've been awake since noon, don't judge. And it's 4 o'clock right now, and in that entire time, all I've done was watch YouTube. But I thought, if I'm not gonna actually read, I might as well do something kind of productive. And so recently I found out that my public library has library sales on the last Saturday of each month, which, as it so happens, is today. So, oh my god, that was a really big dragonfly. So I'm gonna head over there and see what kind of books they have, because if they have books I want, I'm gonna stock up on those affordable prices. I also kind of want to check out a graphic novel that can fulfill the read a book with a non-human main character, because I really don't know if I'm gonna get through Animal Farm because I'm just not in the mood for it. So if I can get a graphic novel, I can finish that pretty fast in one sitting and fulfill that challenge. And I want to beat the reading rush for once, you know? Anyway, I'll see you in a little bit. Hello, so I just got out of the library. The library book sale was kind of a downer. I guess I should have figured they wouldn't be selling new releases or very popular books. It'd be like pretty backlisted books. And I also came in and they said they only had 15 minutes left that they were going to be open. So I probably should have planned more ahead. So I just briefly skimmed the room to see if anything caught my eye, and nothing really did. So that was kind of a dud, but it was my fault, to be honest. So then I just went around the library itself and I checked out 2 books. The first one is Wires and Nerve by Marissa Meyer. I believe this takes place after the events of the Lunar Chronicles. I know it was published after. And it follows Aiko, who is Cinder's friend in the Lunar Chronicles, and she's an android. So that's a non-human. And it's a graphic novel, so I really darn hope I can finish it in one sitting. So once I get home, I plan to do that. And I also checked out another book kind of on a whim, and it was Pan's Labyrinth by Cornelia Funk and Guillermo del Toro. This is like, I think it was inspired by, or it's a book adaptation of the movie. I haven't seen the movie, so I know nothing about what this is about, but it gives us such fairy tale vibes, which are just like my aesthetic. I love fairy tales. And I know Cornelia Funk wrote the Inkheart series, which I haven't read, but I know it has pretty good reviews. And I also love Trollhunters, which is a show on Netflix that Guillermo del Toro made. So I feel like I like his ideas and his kind of vision. So hopefully I will like this. I don't really know if I'm going to read this for the reading rush because I have already started We Hunt the Flame. But if I'm in the mood for it, we'll see what happens. So I'm getting dinner with my friends in about an hour, so I have roughly 45 minutes to get through some of Wires and Nerve, so hopefully I'll get through a good chunk of it. I don't have any gauge of how fast I read graphic novels, because I don't read them very often, but we'll see how much I get through. And I have chosen my bed as my spot to read it, so I can now only read this book in my bed. Say hi to the vlog. Привет. Hi. Hello. So it is 12:30 a.m. right now, so it's technically day 7, but I finished Wires and Nerve by Marissa Meyer. I really enjoyed it, actually. I loved being back in the Lunar Chronicles world. That is one of my favorite series. It's so enjoyable, and I love these characters. I have mixed feelings about the fact that it's a graphic novel because, and I think this is a trend I have with a lot of graphic novels, is that I like the visual aspect that it provides, but I think that the strength and development of the plot and the characters kind of suffers in that format. And it was kind of apparent to me in this book because I knew these characters, I read about them before, but they still kind of felt distant. I didn't really get to see a lot of them and what they were feeling and stuff. The exception to that is Aiko, who is the star of this novel. I really liked the way Marissa Meyer kind of delved more into her character and kind of her frustrations with the fact that society doesn't really see her as a person because she's an android, and they also don't really see her or remember her as one of the heroes in the original series, even though she played a huge part in them. That being said, it didn't really feel like it had a very full story. Like, this very much felt like setup. And I know there's a second volume that's out that continues the story, and I definitely want to read it and check it out. But I also feel like a volume should be able to kind of stand on its own in terms of having a story arc. So, I don't know. I gave it 3.5 stars. And with the completion of that, that means I won the reading rush. Wow. I've never won a readathon before. This is a momentous occasion. I guess technically I didn't fully win the reading rush because I didn't participate in any of the video challenges or Instagram challenges or even some of the Twitter sprints. I saw them going around, but I was always kind of late and I couldn't really read at the times that they were happening. But I knew that my schedule was a lot different this year and I didn't want to put much pressure on myself, so I'm happy with what my results were. I also didn't read 7 books, but that's not a challenge this year, so I'm fine. So I still have one more day and I could read another book. It doesn't have to be anything to fulfill a challenge, so I could maybe get 4 books done in a week. I don't know. We shall see. Hello everyone. It is 11:07 on day 7, the last day of the reading rush. And today has kind of been pretty slow. I spent all morning watching YouTube, and then the rest of the morning and afternoon I was editing this vlog. I knew going into this that I should have been editing a little bit each day to kind of soften the blow, but I didn't, and so now I'm paying the price. I read a little bit today. I feel like because I completed all the reading challenges, I didn't have as much motivation to read that much today, which is okay. I'm perfectly happy with what I did this week. I'm on like page 85 of We Hunt the Flame, and it is a slow one. It's really slow. But I'm finally getting to a point where the plot is moving a little, so I'm excited to continue that. Anyway, that brings me to the end of this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm still kind of getting used to vlogging, so please let me know if you enjoyed the structure of this vlog or if you wanted to see something else or something more, something less. Also, if you participated in the reading rush, please let me know how your week went and what you read. Anyways, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you later. Bye!